Bone broth, not only is it rich in different amino acids, but it's also really rich in something called glycosaminoglycans. We call them GAGs, and these are things like chondroitin sulfate and glucosamine, and
Right.
these, which glucosamine is more in shellfish, it's not really in bone broth, but these are nutrients that go in and actually can help build up the cushioning agents of the joints, like the synovial fluid. It's also in that category would be things like hyaluronic acid, and that's really essential for the skin as well as the joints. It's particularly the synovial fluid, that cushioning agent in the joints. So when you're drinking bone broth, you're getting these glycosaminoglycans that are going to nourish the joints and help with any kind of maybe stiffness or popping and cracking that you might have in the joints.
Right. It's reducing inflammation and supplying the base components for building new materials, right? So if your joints are deteriorating because there's a loss of cartilage, or you have a torn ligament or a tendon or some chronic inflammation in that tissue, it's good to have something like bone broth, first to heal the gut, but also to supply those base building materials that your body uses to make new tissues with, right? It's important to have those. It's also good to have bone broth because it contains a lot of minerals, but it contains fats, and it has the GAGs, and that's really helpful for adrenal glands. So and adrenal glands have a lot to do with controlling inflammation in the body, and if you have joint issues, you might want to take a look at adrenal fatigue, and you want to look at bowel permeability or leaky gut. And so bone broth is a quick way to sort of address a lot of things at one time. Yeah. And you said skin, which is great, right?
Yep.
Joints, skin, immune system. What else do we have on that list?
Well, joints, skin, liver function, liver detoxification, kidney health. I mean, the list kind of goes on with...
Wow, it's sort of an amazing...
It is. Well, think about if you're making bone broth, one of the things that you're going to get is the bone marrow. And bone marrow is incredibly nutritious. I mean, when I was back in college, my college days, I took the most fascinating class I ever took was nutritional anthropology, where we got to trace the evolution of the human diet, which was my first real eye-opener. Cool. Yeah. That made me go paleo before there was paleo. And so... our ancestors, before we were really able to hunt, we were scavengers. And there's a lot of evidence that we would crack open old bones to get the marrow out because the marrow is so nutritious.